Welcome back to Techvisa. This is episode number 4. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel for all the latest in Australian immigration updates. We've got a very special guest on the mic today. Not only is she the principal migration agent here at Techvisa, but her attention to detail and ability to recite immigration legislation off the cuff is unparalleled. Not a single application gets lodged here at Techvisa without her stamp of approval. Beck, welcome.
Thank you, Zach. It's great to be here.
Off the back of the most recent announcements, we've been getting lots of questions around permanent residency and the 186 visa program. So today I thought we'd take a deep dive, answer the most frequently asked questions that we see come across our desks here at Techvisa, and further discuss the various intricacies of the program and how these will be affected by the recent immigration changes. So Beck, to kick things off, can you give the viewers a quick overview of the 186 visa program?
Yeah. So the 186 visa is available to those who want to be sponsored by their employer. So there's the direct entry stream, there's a labour agreement stream available to those people who are on a labour agreement under the 482, and there's also the temporary residence transition stream, which I think we're going to talk most about today.
Beck, what are the main differences between the direct entry stream and the temporary resident transition stream?
So direct entry stream relies on a skills assessment. So it's assessment of your qualifications and your employment experience. And the temporary residence transition stream is more focused on your time with an employer, essentially.
Do I need to hold a 482 visa to be eligible for the TRT stream?
So at the moment, the rules are that you need to hold a 482 visa for 3 years before you can be eligible for the TRT. From December, Minister O'Neill has indicated that that is going to change to 2 years.
The 482 visa does not have an age limit. What about the 186?
The 186 does have an age limit. The majority of provisional and permanent visas do. The age limit is 45.
And any age exemptions in relation to the 186 visa?
Yes, you can get an exemption from that criteria if you are employed by the same employer for 3, it's going to be 2 years, and pay above the Fair Work High Income threshold, which is currently 162,000.
Right. And does that Fair Work High Income threshold, does that increase yearly? And if so, is it financial year? Is it calendar year?
It does. It increases every 1st of July. So it's 162,000 now. Generally, it increases by 3 to 5K every year, and your salary needs to move with that.
So Beck, you mentioned in order to be eligible for the TRT stream, I need to hold a 482 visa for 3 years, which is going to be reduced to 2 years at the start of 2024. When does that time start counting towards my application for a 186 visa?
So if your new 482 application, you've held a different visa beforehand, the time starts when that 482 visa is granted. So you'll have 2 years from the time it's granted to then you become eligible once you hit that 2-year mark, the 2-year anniversary. If you're on a 482 visa and you're transferring over to a business, the 2 years starts when the nomination is approved.
So just to clarify, I'm working for company A, been there for a year. I transfer over. I've been with company B for a year. Am I eligible for the 186 TRT stream?
Okay, so it is based on 2 years with the one business. So you'd have to do another 12 months with that business to be eligible.
And if my 482 visa expires after 2 years, do I need to apply for an additional 482 to get me through to that 2-year period with my new employer?
Yes, so you will. You know, if you've only got 12 months left on that visa, you're obviously not going to get to that 2 years. So you will be able to apply for a new one. And the new announcement has said that, you know, everyone will have unlimited access to 482s.
And generally speaking, how long does the 186 TRT visa application process take? So collating documents, lodging the application, processing times. What am I looking at here?
So I guess when we get started, we make an initial assessment. That sort of takes a few days maybe to gather all the information, make sure that you've got everything that you need, you've been paid the right amount, etc. It is a long application, so we take our time, make sure everything is 100% before we lodge. As you said before, I am attention to detail. I don't let an application go in unless it's 100%. So you can, be sure that your application will be definitely looked after when you come to us.
And Beck, from a process in time perspective, what am I looking at once an application's been lodged?
Generally speaking, it can be anywhere between 6 to 12 months. Generally, we're seeing 8 to 10 as the average. However, it just depends if there's requests for further information, anything like that. It does take longer. You should be looking at around 8 to 10 months.
So you briefly touched on it earlier. To be eligible for the 186 direct entry stream, I need to have a skills assessment. Do I need to have a skills assessment for the 186 TRT stream as well?
So TRT stream is purely based on your time spent with the company, determined by the 2 years that we talked about, 3 years currently. So if you apply before December, we gather 3 years of employment experience. After December, it will likely be 2 years that we'll go with. So no, it doesn't need a skill assessment. It's just based on basically pay evidence that we use to then say, okay, I've been working for this company for 2 years. I'm now eligible for this pathway.
So we briefly touched on the differences between the direct entry stream and the temporary resident transition stream. Do you find that applicants have a preference for one or the other, or is it very, very case by case basis?
It is case by case basis. Obviously, a lot of people do come to us and say, well, I want permanent residence ASAP. Do I qualify? And we look at it in terms of the skill assessment. So if they can obtain a skill assessment, then absolutely we go for that. We always try to find the quickest way to PR for people, and obviously the way that makes the most sense for them. Some people prefer that. Some people are happy to wait the time and then apply that way. And some people only have that option actually. So it's always, we look at everything on a case by case basis and go from there.
Beck, I know you're busy. Thanks so much for taking the time to sit down with us today. Really appreciate your time.